Hey, Riddle here. So, last 5 years maybe, there have been numerous people who have made videos about how this city sucks and how that city sucks and how California sucks and everyone's moving away from California. And one of the cities that people love to attack because they visit for 10 minutes and know everything is Los Angeles. The fake people, the homelessness, the congestion, the cost of living. Okay, if you know anything about my videos that I make, I always have a perspective from firsthand knowledge. So the first thing I'm going to share with you is I moved from Ohio, of all places, where I lived my entire life up to the age of 30 something, maybe 33, 34. And I had a great little company going, but I was an artist and I needed to know if I could really make it in the fine art world and in a megalopolis. And even though the last place I was thinking of living was Los Angeles, that is where life led me. So I sold all my worldly possessions, and at 30 some years old, I moved to Los Angeles, knowing very little, except I had this preconceived idea that basically Los Angeles was the armpit of humanity. So I get to Los Angeles, and this is what people have to start stretching their minds into: more critical thinking, as I always say in my videos, more understanding and less judgment. Los Angeles is a factory town. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a factory town dipped in gold. And people that say that people from Los Angeles are fake, well, yeah, it's full of actors. What do you expect? It's where entertainment is made. And if you hate Los Angeles so much and the people are so fake and you have this idea about California, well, I guess you better stop watching movies and Netflix and music and all that entertainment and all that magic that's made in Los Angeles. Because that's what is at the core of the heart of Los Angeles, is this factory that is full of some of the most brilliantly creative, passionate people on the planet. The reason that people appear to be fake in Los Angeles is that it's highly political there. And people don't go to Los Angeles to work fast food. People go to Los Angeles because they're scheming and they're dreaming. They're going there for a purpose. They're not just going there to ride out life. So it's also highly competitive because, there's only so many slots for fame and fortune. That being said, if you look at it for what it is, and that's just business, you only have so much housing, so many square miles, and it is an expensive city. But in comparison to what other megalopolises have to offer around the world, because I've lived in Tokyo, I've lived in Paris, I've lived in all these places, Los Angeles is still one of the most affordable places on the planet if you're going to live in a big city. It also has incredible food that's really affordable, hair, nails, that kind of stuff, because there's so many people competing. That's very affordable. Now let's talk about the homeless issue there. The homeless issue is because Californians, and I learned this, are some of the most generous people you will ever meet. Coming from Ohio, I had to totally recreate my tribe, and complete strangers supported me in ways you can't imagine. So generous with money, so generous with resources. Nothing like anywhere I'd ever lived before. People in California, people in Los Angeles are some of the most generous people you will ever meet, especially people in Southern California. That being said, because of the hyper-liberalism, the way that we roll politically in California, all the schemers and dreamers and dope heads across America. I mean, if you're going to be homeless and set your bar to its lowest point, you're going to want to be in a temperate climate where there are endless resources and endless compassion. And basically that's how, combined with our ever dividing economy, California has become this example of this horrific homeless issue. But what I keep telling people over and over again, and no one hears me, is you go up to the majority of the people who are homeless, and not only are they not from Los Angeles, but they're not even from California. But somehow California, the Los Angeles homeless issue has become the Los Angeles homeless issue when it's actually a national homeless issue. But there's laws in place that give us freedom of movement, and there you can't stop people from going where they want to go. And people come to LA for a lot of different reasons, and they're not prepared financially. You know, if I had no skills, no education, no job, would I move to one of the most expensive cities in the nation? Great idea. And then I'm going to get hooked on drugs. I'm going to become homeless. And then I'm going to blame the world for my poor decisions. And then I'm going to be part of this whole other society across America who doesn't have the common sense to really analyze or understand what's happening. And they're just going to say, oh, Los Angeles is this shithole and it's so expensive that all their people are on the street homeless. Guess what? Most of them aren't our people. And yeah, most of them are drug addicts. And also a huge population are veterans that aren't being taken care of. You know, they're sold this hero idea. And then after the military is done using them, look where they wind up. Just saying. And then you have the mentally ill. And when Reagan shut down the facilities to house mentally ill people back in the 80s, they all spilled onto the streets. So I think we know what we did wrong with that. And we should recreate a benevolent form of a place that can house the mentally ill. Because it's crazy that they're given freedoms and choices when they are not equipped to exercise those freedoms and choices in a healthy, sane manner. I mean, at some point, a person has to be cared for and choices have to be made for them. And that means putting them in a place that they are protected and society's protected. So back to Los Angeles. You know, I've lived a lot of places, and there is crime, high crime in almost every city in this nation now due to the opioid epidemic. And so when people, try to say that Los Angeles also has this high crime rate, I think for the size of the city it is, and as expensive as it is, as chaotic a large city can be, it's actually pretty amazing. And I've had less problems with any kind of crime in Los Angeles than I have in any other city in the world, including many cities in the Midwest like Columbus, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, what have you. So that's bullshit too. Considering the size of the city, it's doing pretty amazing in regards to crime. And I'm just saying, Los Angeles is a magnificent city. Given their square footage and what they have to work with. And you have to also understand why people are perceived as fake in Los Angeles. LA is a bus stop. And what I mean by that, a friend told me that because I lived in Los Angeles for almost 20 years. I lived there over 18 years. So I'm speaking from experience. I'm not some asshole who cruises through on a weekend, stays downtown in the shittiest part, and then thinks they're an expert about LA. There's a lot of those videos online, I'll tell you. I lived there for almost 20 years, and I saw some crazy stuff, but it was wonderful because I knew after a while not to take it too seriously. LA is a bus stop, and often the nicest people last the shortest amount of time. It's highly competitive. It's hard to make friends. So yes, you form a callus. And I have to be completely honest with you. I would take fake friendly over what I experience in the rest of America right now, including where I'm living in Northern California, where people can't even wave to you when you're driving through the mountains, or your neighbors don't even come over and introduce themselves, and everyone's just scowling and giving each other gas face everywhere. I would take fake nice and decent civilities over this kind of projected misery any day of the week. I'll take it. I'll take the fake smiles and the fake friendly. At least it's friendly. So, if you go to Los Angeles, first of all, you don't want to stay downtown. Do your research. If you're going to move to Los Angeles, realize the cost of living, make sure you have a good job set up before you go, and make sure you have a shit ton of savings, because you're not going to last that long. Also realize when you move to Los Angeles, people are there for a reason. They're not there to hang out and, like la 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 la, dream their lives away watching TV. They're there for a reason. They're there to get famous. Most people are there to get famous. So unless you align with their dream and purpose, they're probably not going to hang out with you or be your friend, because they're there. They're movers and they're shakers. And these are the people who entertain us. These are the people who you surrender an exorbitant amount of your life to, watching what they produce. Movies, videos, fashion. So don't be a hypocrite. If you really, really believe everyone in LA is so fake and it's such a shithole, well, stop watching movies. Stop watching Netflix. Stop watching videos. Stop all of it. Because all the magical people, the super talented, the super go-getters, that's what makes up Los Angeles. That's the real Los Angeles. And so just know that. Know that. It's just the reality. It's a hardcore, fun, dreaming, scheming, crazy factory town. And it can be a great ride. And the only regrets I have about living in Los Angeles is that I didn't go there when I was a lot younger, because I definitely would have gotten into the entertainment industry and taken advantage of that possible reality. And that's it. So if you go to Los Angeles, don't stay downtown. Know where you're going. There's incredible parts of the city that are beautiful and safe. The food's amazing. The people are amazing. The beaches are amazing. Go have a good time and avoid the shitty parts of the city like you would anywhere you go. And forget about it. Just forget about it. And don't believe all these assholes online making all these videos about how crappy Los Angeles is. Because I've lived around the world, and I have to say, every time I was somewhere else, I couldn't wait to get home to Los Angeles, to my beautiful, colorful people, my artists, my schemers, my dreamers, my crazy, fake, happy people. It's a really, really fun bubble if you don't take it seriously.